Great episode of the Screenwriting Live podcast, which I'm a big fan of. And they were talking about it there. I can't remember who it was that was talking about it. Somebody will probably mention it. But they talked about three layers. So the public self, the private self, and then the secret self. And the secret self might not be something that actually comes out of your, it's not something that materializes in your story. But what it does is it affects their choices. It affects how they really think about themselves. And then privately, they might act one way, and then publicly, like you said, that's their public facade. So even just thinking about your character in those three dimensions, you think, oh, amazing. I can immediately add texture to someone, can't they? And the more conflicting those things are, the better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The bigger the gap between who they appear to be and who they really are. And like I say, that third layer, that's a really interesting perspective on it. I think that's incredibly helpful because for me, that's about who they are privately but don't even know it yet. That's kind of like psychiatrist couch level
Yeah.
of
But it's going to inform them, isn't it? It's going to inform them. And the thing is, even if you're talking about your protagonists here, it's like it doesn't have to be something that makes it's not just about evil characters. It can be sort of desires and stuff like that, can't it? It can be, and like I said, the more kind of conflicting they all are and hypocritical, I think, it just creates that texture within someone because it makes them react in interesting ways within your story.
Yeah, and it gives you kind of opportunities to reveal layers.
Yeah.
If you have built those layers into that character, into the design of them, and you know them intimately in that way,
Yeah.
I often think about those layers as being kind of if you met them like at work in the first kind of week, and then you went down the pub with your mates and talked about them, you'd be talking about that public image,
Yeah.
and the better you got to know them until you became kind of intimate with them, then you'd be able to talk about them, though you wouldn't, in a
Yeah.
different way, right? Because you know stuff other people don't. And as a writer, you need to know all of that. You need to be able to see inside them.
And it's a really fun tool, I think, for anybody that's struggling to get to grips with their lead characters. And I know we talk a lot about sort of there's lots of classic character work you can do about understanding their needs and their wants and their flaws and things like that. But I think even those things are encapsulated in those three states. I think you can find ways to layer your characters. But as long as we're thinking about it, and as long as we're kind of actually trying to actively make them more interesting by adding those layers, that's what can help elevate something.